Hi guys, so I'm going to read Strange Tales number 103. So the Human Torch faces his most fantastic peril when he finds himself prisoner of the fifth dimension. More water! Soon the Human Torch and its flame will be finished forever. Like other boys in Glenville, Johnny Storm is often late to school. Gotta hurry. I have a history test the first period. But unlike other boys, Johnny has a fantastic means of transformation. I'll change as soon as I'm out of sight. Moments later, in a deserted alleyway. Flame on! Prisoner of the Fifth Dimension, starring the Human Torch. Plot Stan Lee, script Larry Lieber, art Jack Kirby, inking Dick Ayers, lettering Art Simic. Look, it's the Human Torch! I'll land in the woods right behind the school, where no one will see me change back into Johnny Storm. Later that day, Johnny overhears some interesting talk. They say that Bentley is the best house builder in the state. How come 3 of his homes have sunk into the ground? He was a fool to pick up the swamp for his new housing development. And at that moment, another one sunk during the night. I don't understand it, Mr. Bentley. We filled in the plot with hard soil to support the house. We figured everything out perfectly. The house shouldn't have sunk. But it did. The question is why? What went wrong? I'll tell you what happened. It's the swamp demons that done it. This is their home, and they don't like you knocking down the trees and destroying their swamp. So they're getting even. Swamp demons? What kind of nonsense is that? It ain't nonsense, it's true. And if you know what's good for you, you leave while you still can. Bah, we have enough troubles without listening to some simple farmer. And so the old man's warning is ignored, for swampland is the cheapest land to build on, and George Bentley is determined to complete his project quickly. Reinforce the plot with a double amount of hard soil. Right, we'll make that ground strong enough to support a skyscraper. But that night, after all the workmen have all left, so they continue to build. We must teach them another lesson. And the following day, it happened again. Another house sunk. It isn't possible. We took every conceivable precaution. I warned you to leave. The swamp demons will never let you build here. I'm beginning to believe that old crackpot. Well, I'm not ready to buy superstitious nonsense. Come on, let's check over the plans again. Meanwhile, Johnny Storm has contacted the leader of the Fantastic Four. According to my findings, there was no natural reason for the houses to sink. I suspect sabotage. But you'll have to investigate further by yourself. For Sue, the Thing, and I are busy with another case. And so minutes later, the youthful adventurer appears on the scene. Look, it's the Human Torch. I heard of the trouble you've been having. Maybe I can discover what's behind it. Boy, we could sure use some help. I look around under the marsh. It's easy for me to burn right through the soft, swampy ground. Soil seems hard enough, and there's nothing here that could have pulled the houses down. After a thorough but futile search, I'm afraid I'm as baffled as you are. I tell you, it's the curse of the swamp demons. You can't see them, but they're all over the place. That night, Johnny Storm returns to the swamp. Demons, huh? Well, I'll have to find out if I have to hide here all night. Footsteps. Somebody's coming. It's the old man. And he's with... Holy cow, what are they? Incredulously, Johnny watches one of the Inhumans turn on a strange machine. It's giving off some kind of ray. The ray's affecting the ground. It's making it so soft that the house is sinking right through its supports. So that's how it happened. It is done. Now I've turned off the gamma waves. The soil will return to normal. And in the morning the humans will once more be at a loss to explain how their construction sank. They're leaving now. But who are they? What's this all about? I gotta follow them and find out. The old man has stopped. But the others are going on. Wait, something's happening to them. They're fading away. They're vanishing, melting into nothingness. A moment later, Johnny makes his appearance as the Human Torch. I don't know how who those two were, but it's clear that you're in league with them. Now tell me what's behind all this, and skip the nonsense about the swamp demons." "So you saw them too, did you? Very well. Then it's no longer necessary for me to pretend to be human. Now, my fiery friend, I will give the commands." "You're wasting your time. Bullets can't hurt me. They'll melt melt instant by the flame. They melt the instant they hit my flame." "Ah, but this weapon doesn't shoot bullets. It shoots antimatter electrons, which convert ordinary air into a liquid chemical. Observe." "Oh, my flame is going out." "Now that I've extinguished your flame, I can easily destroy you. I have merely to press this button, and my weapon will fire a lethal blast of electricity. But I won't do it, for I've other plans for you. Turn around and start walking." "I'm still too wet to flame on again. I'll have to do what he says." "Walk 3 steps to the left. That's it. Now 2 steps to the right." Following the alien's instructions, Johnny goes deeper into the swamp until suddenly, "What's happening? I'm starting to vanish also." "You are merely leaving your dimension of space and time, and entering mine. Trapped in Another World, Part 2. Behold the 5th dimension. And now I shall take you to our warlord, and claim the glory of your capture." Johnny is soon brought before the Prime Minister of the 5th dimension, a sneering despot named Zumu. "Ever since we discovered your world coexisting beside ours, we have prepared to conquer it. But till we were ready, we had to prevent your race from stumbling upon the passageway in the swamp that links these two worlds. That is why we had to keep you humans away from the swamp, why we could not allow a housing development there." As Johnny listens to the explanations, his eyes dart around. He notices that not all the onlookers seem pleased by his capture, especially one beautiful girl. "She's looking at me as if she feels sorry for me." But then Zimu gives a command and Johnny is led away. "Submerged in that liquid chemical, you will be unable to use your flame. You shall be kept here to show my people that I am more powerful than any foe, even the Human Torch. The device you're wearing will supply you with enough oxygen to keep you alive, but you will remain a helpless prisoner." And then to make sure that Johnny can't escape, Zimu orders him chained to the tank. As the grim hours pass, Johnny's plight seems hopeless. But then at nightfall, "It's the gorgeous gal I saw before. She's coming this way." "I've seen you many times, but I never suspected that Valera, the proud and beautiful daughter of Phineas, would be interested in me. How could I resist one as handsome as you?" But the thrilled guard is not long to enjoy his good fortune. For a moment later, "Look at my hypno ring. Watch it glisten." No, don't, Soon the guard is put in a deep hypnotic sleep. "You have done your task well." "Hurry, father. Free the human." "There, that's it, Theros. Just a little more." "Thank heavens you're all right." "Yeah, thanks to you." Moments later, at the home of his liberators. "There are many of us opposed to Zimu, but he has the support of the army. It is they who want to invade your dimension, while we are weak and too unorganized to stop them." "If only you would help us." "That's just what I intend to do. Zemo and his buddies are going to rue the day they tangle with the Human Torch." But while Johnny plans his course of action, "And after they hypnotized me, they freed the prisoner." "We must recapture the Torch at once. As for Phineas and his offspring, they shall pay for their defiance." Meanwhile, there's the arsenal where the weapons for the invasion are stored. If only there were some way for us to enter. There is. Watch! Flame on! This cold ray can freeze a human within seconds. We'll turn the human troops into immovable icemen. They won't stand a chance against us. Sorry to knock off Cloud9, but the party's over, chum. What? It's a prisoner. He's become a creature of fire. Summon reinforcements, quickly! But as more guards arrive on the scene, time to head underground. And at that moment, outside the arsenal,
Ah, we have found the traitors. The torch must be nearby. Zemu!
meanwhile, as the torch blazes underground, he melts the foundation of the arsenal.
Look, the walls are shaking. The floor is caving in. The whole building is collapsing. Flee, flee!
That finishes the arsenal. Now to wait. There are my friends. They're in trouble.
Behold how helpless the traitors are against the poles of the magnet. Hear me well, Torch. Unless you extinguish your flame at once, my firing squad will slay your 3 conspirators.
Guess again, Zemu. I have a lot of powers you don't know about, such as the power to create smoke screens. Cough, cough. My eyes, I can't see. Now, while they're busy, you're melting the magnet. I'll have you safely on the ground in no time. Oh, you're wonderful. The end of Zemu, Part 3. But the powerful Zemu is not to be defeated so easily. Realizing the might of his fantastic foe, he sends his most potent weapons into the fray.
You're a mighty foe, Torch, but even you cannot withstand the onslaught of my fireproof giant tank corps.
That's what you think. I'll melt their bullets and shells just as I did the magnets. I gotta see if I missed any. I don't think I did any page, because that seemed... Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, sorry about that. So, I'll melt their bullets and shells just as I did the magnets.
No, you won't. For the ammunition in the tanks have been coated with this asbestos solvent. It will not burn. This time you're doomed, Torch.
A moment later, the tanks open fire. If I can't melt their ammo, I'll defeat them another way. Flying in a circular motion as swiftly as he can, the torch creates a hot, swirling current of air, which soon builds up into a super tornado, and nothing made of mere metal can withstand the awesome force of the super twister. I can control the blast so that it's pinpointed at the tanks alone. You've defeated his tank corps, but Zemu still has thousands of loyal troops stationed out the land. The only way to topple his regime is to cause a general uprising. A revolution is the answer, but how can we spread the word to the masses? Zemu controls all the communication systems. There's one that he doesn't control. Watch. Soaring high into the air, the torch blazes a message of fire into the sky. Arise, arise against tyranny, defeat Zemu. And encouraged by the fiery plea of defiance, realizing they have a super powerful ally, the people begin their revolt. Down with Zemu! Follow the straight flaming human! Strike for liberty! And like all just causes, it ends with the defeat of the totalitarian forces. Zemu, he's trying to escape. But before the evil dictator can reach his escape ship, the torch imprisons him in a cage of fire. He doesn't look like much of a menace now, does he? Tyrants never do in the end.
If only that fool had not captured the human torch.
From now on we'll live in peace as free men. And needless to say, there will be no invasion of your dimension. Although I would like to visit your world, and to visit you. Oh, well, sure, sometime. No, don't go yet. Please stay. There's so much I want to ask you, and tell you. I've never known anyone as powerful as you. Thanks, Valeria. I wish I could remain here, but I can't. I must go home, to my sister and to my friends. Farewell. Good luck, Torch. Torch, come back, come back. Perhaps he will return someday. Who can tell, dear? Woo. Who would have ever thought of that some sinking houses would lead into adventure into another dimension? And so Johnny's adventure is ended, but for the next couple weeks he has a tough time concentrating on his own world. Gosh, that Valeria was so beautiful. I'll never be able to get her out of my mind. Johnny Storm, are you paying attention to the lesson? You look as though you're in another world. Sorry, Mr. Harris, I must have been daydreaming. Another world. I guess he'll never know how right he was. In the end. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.